Welcome to a video tutorial by ET System Electronic GmbH, your specialists for AC and DC power sources, electronic loads, and DC sources with power regeneration. The on-off switch for the device can be found on the front side. The standby button is used to enable or conversely disable the set values at the output. Next to it is the display button, which allows you to move between different display modes. Values can be input and set with the jog dial. When the device is switched on, the ET System logo appears on the screen for a few seconds. At this time, the display contrast can be set using the jog dial. The contrast set is retained even after power off. At the bottom left of the screen, you now see the current settings of the device. UI means that the device is in current voltage mode. Next, you see STB, which shows us that everything is in standby mode. The actual output is therefore not yet released. The LOC to the right shows us that the device is currently working in local mode and is not controlled through an interface. On the right of the display, you see the setting Preset VSET. This means that you can preset the voltage now using the jog dial. In this example, it is 100 volts. Pressing the jog dial changes the setting to preset, and you can now set the current, in this case 2 amps. These values are only released at the output when the standby button is pressed. Now you can see the set voltage displayed on the left and the actual current that naturally adjusts itself according to our specimen. You can see that the device is now in CV, constant voltage mode. You now lower the preset current value until it is below the actual value. Then the mode will change to CC, constant current mode, so the current is kept constant. Now you can switch to different display modes by pressing the display key. Now you see the default 100 volts on the left and, on the right, the applied power in watts. Pressing again switches the display to power on the left and current on the right. Pressing yet again displays all values that the device can show in both displays: voltage, current, power, and resistance. Press again and you see the values for voltage and current on the left, and a graph to the right showing us the set operating point of the device. A final press brings us back to the default setting of the display. The standby button switches the unit into standby mode, and on the display you see that there are no values at the output. Pressing and holding the display button allows you to enter the setup. Here you have the possibility of limiting the output voltage or the output current. The overvoltage protection can also be set here. In the menu item Remember Last Setting, you can choose whether the set values are to be remembered or not. If you set this item to On, the settings are retained even after the power is turned off. Pressing the display key briefly allows you to see the installed interface, and you also have the option to change the values here. Pressing this button again brings you back to the basic display. At the moment, you are still on the setup screen for the voltage. Pressing the Select knob allows you to adjust the current, as already shown, and pressing again takes you back to the base setting, and the UI set mode is displayed again on the right. You can change to the different preset modes by turning the Select knob. The UIP set mode is used here for limiting power. Pressing and turning the Select knob enables the setting of voltage, current, and power. As before, pressing the standby button releases the output and the values are now applied. Pressing the display button switches enables switching to the different display modes. Again, you can see the graph with the operating point of the device. In the next preset mode, the UIR set mode can be seen next to the voltage and current, and the resistance can be set to simulate a battery, for example. The settings correspond to the other preset modes. The next preset mode is the PV Sim mode, which is explained in a separate example clip. With the SD card option, it is possible to load a script created on your PC on an SD card and run it. If there is an SD card in the slot, you can now switch to the SCR mode, script mode, by rotating the select knob. Press on the card directory to read it, and you can now select the appropriate script. After the script has been successfully read, reading OK appears on the left display. Here you can see the script created on the PC. Furthermore, it is possible to create a log file on the SD card. You must take care here to specify the interval in the first line. The output values will be written later in this log file. Now you can switch the display back to the basic setting. Pressing the standby button unlocks the output, and the device executes the statements in the script sequentially. The output values are now in the log file according to the specified interval.